Welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. Once again, this is the beginning of a stream, so let me get reacquainted with the city here and the state of affairs. I did a little bit of poking through our fulfillment before the stream started. Big thing I think we can probably move on to is trying to squeeze out a little bit more from distributing stone to the people. Also looked at food, and we definitely actually need more food. Food's the next thing we're going to have to work on generating more of. We're 160 positive, but that's not much. In the last one, I was probably thinking about doing something with grain, so we could do more beer, but I think the food's going to have to be solved sooner rather than later. Service-wise, we were in the middle of doing hearts? Or did we just finish the hearts? We just finished the hearts. I think we're pretty much caught up with services. With improving the services, we've gotten unlocked, right? Let's take a quick look at our services here. Do I have baths unlocked? I do have baths unlocked, so we could start building baths. That's one option. We've got baths to build. We could get mechanics going for the improvement on the wells. Otherwise, I think we have all the services unlocked, so we're actually gonna have to start looking at doing things. Otherwise. We do have a bunch of cut stone coming, so I could probably do the fancy grand. What was this? The entertainment building was the Grand Arena in here. Yeah, we haven't quite saved up enough for that, but that would be one thing we could do. Out on the world map, because we just finished a war up in the last one. Just got peace out with these guys. These guys reasonably like us at the moment due to the peace terms. So hopefully we won't have any other wars for a bit here. Yeah, the high opinion here has reduced their attack chance. So for the moment, I think we are safe. Once we're stabilized in our new territory, we're probably going to take over this free lands here. At the same time, these new territories are potentially quite valuable due to how big we can make them. We've got 97% moisture there. We've got 99% moisture there. I think here's fairly low at only 85. That could be worse. It's actually not that bad. And then here, when we take this over, this will be pretty good at 95 as well. So those are probably going to be the 4 cities we put the worker headquarters in. Each one of these is providing... Is it actually 15%? 5% each. Okay. Or is it... I might have a couple of these built right, is what's going on. The summative effect is 15% right now. Okay, so we're getting like 7.5 from there and 7.5 from here for a total of 15%. But yeah, if we get that in all 4 places, that'll be 30% more workforce with the same size, which is pretty nice. Alright, that's resulted in this place, which we haven't expanded since we got that worker guild, already having 3 free workforce. What I'd use that 3 for is maybe up for debate. Could do a little bit more growth. Well, that's not enough by itself, necessarily. Yeah, not enough by itself. And to get to the next size. Seems the logic here, it's not going to be enough there, but... Although I suppose I could use that for tax, right? So 3 more workers, we could go ahead and expand the bank for increased tax revenue. And so 1.9 to 2.39. So 400 more buckets of tax is not terrible if we want to make a use of that. Here we'd have the upgrade to the tax bank. Be 6 to 300. Yeah, so it's still an increase in the tax revenue, such such as that. Here we're pretty devastated. Here's going to be a bit of a slow recovery. Here's the place we just took over. So this is the place we're going to probably be wanting to monitor and get fixed. March down here and take this over. As soon as we've got that region stabilized, and that'll give us one more territory. And then for the moment, I think that actually puts us at sort of our maximum size for a little bit of period here. We did hit a tier where we got more noble promotions. We have more space for nobles. Okay, let's go ahead. I think we enabled in the markets the... market, double check. We'll have yet to enable stone. Let's enable stone at the markets. Give it a little bit of time for that to distribute. We might start distributing stone to our people. Wondering why we got what looks like a trail of blood leading through the streets. It may literally be a trail of blood going through the streets. I'm sure of that. This is till in here, yeah. Okay, let's extend... how much of the wet area over here I can get. Actually, do I want... again, this is all till... the Illumin's over there. Yeah, living rich. Okay, so I think we will happily build on the till. And maybe save the Illuvium rich. So looking up to like about over there where the transition is. Yeah. So I wanna expand the water. So remove water, which is actually this map isn't gonna be too bad for that. So we're moving all the land that we can up to there. Yeah. And then as labor's spinning, that'll get sort of flooded, and then we'll turn that into a big fishery, so we can get a bunch more fish. Our Dondorians appreciate the fish. The Amivians appreciate the fish. The rest of the population does not. There's maybe an argument we want to distribute what they want as well. But we're going to roll with this. What is your preference? You like bread. You don't like eggs. We'll turn eggs off. You don't like fish, but fish is what we're distributing, so you're going to get fish for the moment. You're not one of the ones that like meat, although meat's another big thing we're distributing, so you can have that. Give us an idea. Oh, they actually like veg, so tell them they can have veg if we have it in the town. Fruit. All these disasters causing people to die. Not great. Oh, it's a food stall. Okay, looks like stone is distributed to the markets. Let's enable stone distribution as furniture. One tick for the moment. So, our Dondorians, the main people, want stone. Bretonians don't want it, but they're actually reasonably happy. Humans don't want it, but they're reasonably happy. The Amivians will happily take it, although they're only going to go up to 2 ticks. And there we go, the fishery is mostly flooded. The next one, at least. I may still flood a little bit of the rich soil. What I will want to do in the rich area is actually put some pumps for irrigation reasons. So we want to put the pumps in, or at least plan the pumps first. I'm thinking fishery here, so fish. That's as far west as we can go. 13 fishermen. Not a completely terrible start. Pull the fishery back because I don't need as much land tiles here. Fish in the water after all. Like that, we got enough auxiliaries sorted out. Which again means I don't need this land. So we're going to exclude it from the fishery so it's available for other tasks. 13 more fishermen, going to produce 77, almost 78 fish. One fully worked. Let's get that being built. And when that's built, we'll probably try to bring in more Amivians to support the expanded fishing. And then we've got 120 knowledge, which isn't quite enough for the temple expansion and the Grand Temple extension. That's basically the last sort of service we haven't done. Oh, it is enough to pick up the well, which I think is what we're going to pick up with it. Unless I want to pick up... do I pick up the lab? Yeah, I'm going to pick up the lab. So I'm going to pick up the lab, pick up laboratory tools. The first one's worth it. I think the second one isn't at the moment, although the second one may be at some point in the future. And what's about the value on the fish? Probably actually is worth it because we're going to improve... Let's improve our labs before we... and figure out how much the labs are worth before we distribute the innovation points. Okay, so I got 2 labs, and it's just iron to improve them, so we might as well just do that. There we go. So with the improvement it's a +5. So we're looking at about 1.5 value per worker. So basically divide by 3, multiply by 2, or... Yeah, that's probably how I should value it. Divide by 3, multiply by 2. So that's probably good. That's probably good, and that's actually where that maxes out. 12 to 6 is a little expensive. 10 to 7 is probably worth it. Next year probably isn't. And then I could do the ranching improvement, which would be more fiber. Be a little bit more meat as well. Sure. That's good enough there, and we need to wait for the innovation to come in from that improvement before we grab more stuff. Okay. Oh, and at the laboratory, we told it we have the ability to assign tools here, so we assign them and let them distribute. Okay, looks like if I want to have people, I need at least 50 more people in. So, 3,400 Dondorians? Okay. The fishery is now done. That means we have 270 fishery jobs. Let's set the Mivian cap to 270. Administrative error uncovered. An administrator in the Duchy of Pladen recently unearthed a bureaucratic error that should have been glaringly obvious. Humans are not taxed. Okay. So we've got an output boost here at the cost of making everyone very grumpy. That was probably here. It doesn't appear to be a problem. Devastation gone? Yeah, the devastation is gone. Has the population stabilized? It looks like it has, or may have at least. Grab the well to improve the health. Do I have the tech to go up to the next size? I do. I actually need more government points. I don't need more people. Okay, so that's actually easy to do. We come in here, we promote the noble to 7, and then we come back in here, and then that means you can be upgraded, yes. Now, I don't have the next one, so I won't even think about the next one for the moment. And that requires so many more people for the moment. Grab max level workers guild. I need to save up some money before we do more. Good to know. And that probably means I need to save up more money before we have the army leave the territory, because I don't think I have enough resting happiness here to keep the region happy without the army present. What we will do to this region... Yeah, what I think we'll do with this region after we take over the next one is de-fortify it. I don't think it needs to be fortified anymore. Brackenport maybe makes sense to leave fortified because of where it is. And it might actually make sense to fortify these two. Vermingstad and Utstol. Because they're going to be large enough to be worth trying to, you know, have last more than 5 seconds during an invasion. Yeah, could do with more fish still. Slow the speed down. Let's go into planning mode. I'm going to set up a couple pumps. Water pump. And this is because this is where we're going to be pumping probably most of the water for most of the map, if we want to irrigate the map. In the rich area here. I'm actually going to go a little aggressive with the plan on the pumps. Whether we build all these or not is a different question. But knowing to save enough of the line of about to flood that we can build these pumps is the plan, so hopefully that's enough. I can always undo some of the fishery and unflood some of the land if I need more than that. I should double check to make sure the janitors cover far enough. The answer is probably no. Let's have another one over here. Doesn't look like it. Oh, I have to have... Oh, that's probably the closest one. Yeah, that's the closest one. Okay, so that basically covers that fishery, but we'll want another one here. do something like that. And then we'll double check to make sure we've got adequate housing near work sites. Wouldn't be surprised if that isn't actually the case. No, I'm apparently doing a pretty good job. Could actually use a little bit more over here. Disease at our footsteps. Okay, so we're gonna have to slow the expansion roll just a little bit here, because disease will be arriving shortly. That's what that's basically telling us. Okay, let's let that happen. Apparently the benches don't want to copy paste, so we'll have to put the benches in again. So in theory, because we upgraded, yeah, we did upgrade the laboratories, and the tools are probably distributed at this point, so we are seeing some benefits there. That's tempting. That's also tempting. Fishing less so. Oh, I did the first one on the fishing tools. I should actually order the tools be distributed. Now goes the distribution of the stone. It does not look like quarter distribution of the stone, so I should not rush to expand stone distribution yet. Give the stone distribution a little more time. Mining, yeah, I should do the mining improvement. That'll help with the Sicilon more export. That's actually where that one caps out. We don't have enough workers to do high mining. Don't have enough of any of the specific types yet to do the specific type. Fair enough. Good. Up until there, it was definitely worth doing. And if I want more, I need more knowledge. Or need more innovation. And I'm probably going to expand knowledge before we expand innovation, to be fair. There goes the carve out here. Not quite far enough along yet. Oh, we're probably far enough along that I get to the houses in. 1, 2. Again, the place where we're having housing issues. Oh, apparently it's slightly shifted around. It's this sort of area. So the housing there will hopefully help. You're having issues. Although that was implying, yeah, that's implying that the workers are having housing, shortage of housing in the local area issues. Which doesn't, given how chaotic trying to dig into this mountain is being, I'm not surprised. Okay. So again, we're gonna dig that area out. I think that will work. That'll help again, putting more people near the mines, which is definitely a place of heavy worker usage. Although with the improved mining, we probably don't need as many workers in the area. We're more worried about logistics, but. The dreaded river runs comes. So that was the disease that we were warned about. It goes up. Shortage of available workers goes down, or the shortage of available workers gets worse. Infected get worse. Hopefully we have enough healthcare that we don't actually worry too much about it. Got a decent treasury. Let's pop out on the world map while thinking about it. Devastation here is recovered. We have some money. Yeah, actually, I will go in garrison here. A stand, fighting pitch and keep everyone happy, and that leaves us 35 workforce to put into whatever industry we want. How terrible are they at fishing? Negative 25%. Could do fishing. We're already doing a bunch of fishing on our own map. Although if I want to focus more on the mining, which is tempting to do, we can do that. I think what I will do is I'll get more meat coming in. So we'll do meat 5, or meat 7, that's what that is. Yeah, meat 7. We could actually improve the fishing here. Let's go and improve the fishing here. 6. Oh, I forgot to hit accept. We haven't actually done what we need for that. We might hold off on upgrading you. And yeah, everywhere else we've hit the point where we actually have 5 free workforce, so we're definitely in the zone where it might be plausible to get these zones and cities bigger. Hasn't yet recovered. It will recover over time. Okay, time to go march and lay siege to you. With the new fortifications here, this region should be happy and safe, even with the army not there. Which is what we're checking. We're going to wait for the army to walk over the border. Apparently I can't quite get max tax. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, the garrison here is too small. They're just cowering within their defensive abode. We'll siege the city down. Obviously, we're not in a position to storm the city, so we must wait. Oh, and some of these cities are actually quite big. It may be tempting. I'd have to pick up more knowledge, probably do it, but to go for even bigger cities. Go from, what are we on? We're tier 4 to tier 5. 65 more workforce. More of it would have to be spent on keeping the stuff happy. Although, if we're going up another size, then that might be the zone where we go like, okay, now it's time to do tax office, physicians we don't have to do the wild, for example. Police, for realm loyalty, so the local areas don't need their own fight pits and stuff. Lots of options. Sort of stacking the realm bonuses. Yeah, and the pile up of corpses. There's some reason, the pile up of corpses is causing increased disease risk. Who would have guessed? Okay, it does look like they're slowly catching up the corpses, which is what we want to see. If it seems like it gets stuck at a level, then we're going to have to evaluate the graveyard situation. The Master Carpenters has passed away. This is... looks like a Dondorian. I'll be lazy. I'm just going to hit replace on this guy. Usually I'm trying not to be lazy to make sure that we can keep one noble of each race of the 4 races. So everyone can get the noble bonus. Because it's binary. Do you have a noble? Not how much noble. Looks like just up by the mining areas where we're having housing and employment issues. Okay, corpse ratio is improving. Health is a little bit low because of the number of corpses out in the streets, but that should clean itself up, I think. And you're currently set to export at what number? 9,300. I think this is also set to 9,000 something. Yeah, 9,000 flat. There's actually maybe an argument we should set that limit higher, but we've got to be patient here. It's also an argument that if I had more people free, we could put more people in mining. Okay, so we're back to the pre-pandemic population size. Still have a abnormally high number of sick people, but that should be recovering. I'm going to go ahead and try to bring more workforce in. Okay, much more than that, I'm going to need more housing. Check and see if we've got any specific neighborhoods with housing shortages. We're actively building housing, so I'm not going to be going on my way to build more unless we've got a particular area that's missing it. Yeah, so we're going to finish up these 2 housing blocks, and then we'll probably try to bring more in. And or wait for our people to recover from being sick so they can get back to work. How goes the stone distribution as well? Probably far enough along, let's authorize another distribution level. Yeah, looks like we've got housing for every... Oh, a little bit out here on the island, although I can't fix. The solution to there is to build more housing on sort of the far side of the housing block and hope that the population just around. Although that yellow might be that an Namibian moved in, went to his workplace before he went to a housing location. Came to house. Would not be surprising if that was what was happening there. Oops. I don't want to do bricked road, although... Yeah, I don't want to do bricked road. I don't have the cut stone yet for the fancy road. Could do with a little bit better contrast between deep water and shallow water here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put a sort of a bridge system across here before I start flooding stuff. I'm just gonna have to blindly do it. I think the problem here also is that the river doesn't have very much shallows there, which isn't helping. Again, because I think we want more fish. At least the Namibians are going to want more fish. The Namibians have in their environment the desire to have fish in the stockpile. They ideally want it to be, I think, 1 fish per person in the town. So they want like 4 or 5k fish in the storage. Okay, that housing finished. That housing is almost finished, but far enough along I think we can take some more people in. Let's go check them out on the siege. Done. So we'll occupy the city. The target right now is 69. It's going to be more than that when we add you in. Target's 753, but we're going to lose most of the Garmithi and the Namibian population, which makes up the most of the population of the city. Okay. We give it that 1.1k. It's not quite enough to retain the full Namibian population. Or retain enough population to be over 300. So it would be a risk gambling here with it staying over 300. So that's just what we're going to do for the moment, just the new and the growth building. Oh, and I can pin the taxes here to minimize that problem with the devastation, so we'll do that. Still waiting for this place to recover. Oh, this place is recovering decently well. Gives us 10 more workforce. Not sure if this place is going to be good enough to warrant trying to go up to the next size, but we won't. mess with it too much in the meantime. Most of our cities could take one more building output if I needed more output of something. Title unlocked. Congratulations, now on the right to sell yourself to bureaucrat. Gained by having your papers in order increases government points. Next playthrough or resettle, you'll be allowed to select this title to boost your game. Okay. Oh, I'm being throttled by paper. Would make sense to potentially grab another paper maker then. It was this area here that was the rich. Do want to grow there. Might actually want to grow some wheat there. Yeah, because this is a big giant wheat patch, or a big giant high fertility area. There we go. We have about 10 farmers. Just give me some amount of grain. Do that. No, we definitely got willingness for people to move in. Did those houses complete? Complete? Yeah. How's the housing distribution looking? Okay, could do with some more in here. Let's do some... Yeah, let's do some upgrades, even though it's going to eat the cut stone that we want for a different project. Okay, so that should give us adequate housing in the local area. Got a little while for them to upgrade, or account for that, let's say. Yeah, that makes the yellow go away. We got a little bit of yellow over here. I suppose we can do some upgrades like we just did over here as well. Oh, I can't because these houses are upgraded already. A little bit of space in here. It's not much. And we are going to want more workforce over there, so... see if that solved it. And one of the reasons we might want... Well, because the admin... As we get more pay for the admin's going to want more workforce, right? Okay, that's built. Housing in the local area with those improvements does appear to be better. Okay. Okay. I think I want the knowledge to grab the rest of the services, let's say. So if I want that knowledge, that means I'm going to want another library. Another library is going to be another 100 workers. Ideally human workers. So in the nearby housing, let's improve the housing density. And then tell another 100 humans they can come in. That's looking pretty good for the stone. I think you're the only one who wants more than 2 units of stone. But we'll go ahead and distribute another unit of stone anyway. Technically, the people who don't want it won't collect it. That's how that works. And that should be ready to be turned into a fishery. Again, I think I do want more fish. So let's slow the speed down, get that fishery under construction. Aquaculture, fishery. Put the rightmost in, and then left to right. Basically want that to be the fishery. That looks like that will be perfectly fine as the fishery. It's a decent tick away from actual storage, so we'll do really big storage. And there we go. So that's the auxiliary. So that actually frees up this bit of land over here, which I don't need in the fishery. So we can leave it free for other applications. Like I might put a well or something over here so the fishermen don't have to walk as far to get access to water or access to a hearth or something. It'd have to be a fairly small one, but that would work. Oops, I accidentally destroyed the storage because I took off the bit next to it. That's actually a good question. If I take those off... Yeah, okay, so I didn't need those hexes, it's just the remover apparently is over-aggressive at cutting storage off. Yeah. We just had a harvest. So this is making about 2 per worker per day. So we want 20... Is it really that bad? It must really be that bad, yeah. The Dondorians are not very good at, you know, farming after all. Oh no, I think it's the estimate yield. Yeah, no, two per day. So that estimate is right. The estimate might be wrong, but let's say the estimate is right. Oh, the estimate's including the drought. Let's not do the storage based off the presumption we have a drought. Okay, so it's 4 per worker per day. So 40 times 16. So if we have like 800 storage nearby, that would be best. Let's take this storage for that. Okay, we'll just upgrade the storage here, 1 tick. There you go. That should be enough grain storage in the one of the closer storage yards to store the harvest. It's not expected to be a big harvest, but bigger than nothing. There's then an argument to do more admin. We are actually using all the admin, which is implying we're actually making enough paper. Let's check. Who do I have priority-wise assigned to working the admin? Is that humans? I can imagine it being humans. Humans are set to max on it. Are other people set lower? That's a different question. Yes. Okay. So that means we probably want to bring another 80 humans in to be admin workers. And then we'll probably need to bring a little more paper makers when that's done, but... Oh, and that fishery is done. So we now have 286 fishery jobs. Let's let the Nubians go up to 285. You know, I have enough stone stored. I think we're getting enough income on stone, yeah. Let's just crank the stone up to max. Yeah, crank stone delivery up to max to the finisher usage. Actually have a surprisingly large number of odd jobbers that are free to do work. Let's take a quick check before we bring this part of the recording to close. Okay, so we're working on that library. That's where the odd jobbers are for. The hunters are workers that should be working in the library. Fair enough. Here we go. That should provide us with enough knowledge. It hasn't immediately. It's going to take some time to pick up at least the well. Might not be enough by itself to do the temple shrine upgrades. Well, that's a good question. That would take a lot of paper. Don't get me wrong. Logging this results in allowing us to use paper in, I believe, the library. That would take a lot of paper. It might be worth it. Yeah, probably would actually be worth it instead of expanding the libraries more. What do we have the experience bonus up to? Actually, no. I think we keep expanding the library system. Because this is going to make the experience bonus bigger. Let's check out on the world map before we bring this part to a close. You have finally recovered from that devastation. Can I get you up to 600 size? Target. Looks like it. Yeah, that would be 600. So we'll sign that. We'll reduce the tax in the meantime, so they're happy. We'll get that extra workforce. That'll be nice. And yeah, this place did not stay over 300. It dropped below 300. It was a good thing I did what I did. And yeah, you probably, this one in particular probably does not need to be fortified anymore. Let's think about dropping that fortification. So we don't need the walls, and we don't need the garrison. If I don't run the garrison, I probably should run stand. Oh, I guess we need a lot of approval bonus then. Or can I do it with just tax rate? Can't do it with just tax rate. Okay. That leaves us with 10, so we can actually level up the farm by 2 or assign it to something else. I suppose we could even assign the temple, which would help fix the religion component. Which would mostly be mine output. Would affect mine output. I think we roll with this for the moment. I'm not sure what we want that stuff to be yet. Would presumably be grain there. Although, or the other thing we can do is we swap it to something else, right? Apparently this is a good place for Balti Crawler. So if I wanted meat, this would be a decent place for meat. Here, if we wanted Scythian ore off-map, would be a good place for Scythian ore. This is actually a good place for mined units. So there's maybe an argument to get more clay coming in there. Or to be thinking about making these places just bigger. They wouldn't necessarily be very easy to get bigger. Oh, this place hasn't even fully recovered back up to 300 size yet. It's going to. And then opinion with the neighbors. They're now really happy now that we don't have someone secretly trying to convince them that we need to be their enemy. Whereas the actual trading partners are all a bit grumpy. Interesting. I don't have 300 million to agree to an alliance. I do have enough to go for become colleagues, so let's do that. And I could eventually become colleagues with them. Let's do that. Opens up more potential neighbors and more potential neighbors for trade reasons. Let's barter, get that trade contract. Barter, get that trade contract. And barter and get that trade contract. One of those was actually happy enough. They were happy enough. They might be willing to become colleagues as well, which would open up more potential trade. Actually, no, that would not open up more potential trade. And the reason is because they're only neighbors to people I am neighbors to, I think. Oh, maybe there are neighbors to one more people than I am neighbors to. But yeah. Another thing we can do, what I might contemplate doing right now, is getting more army units. We've got 1.4k recruits worth of humans that we can pull up to expand the size of the army. Although, what do we have for neighbors? Okay, so the guys to our southeast, these guys, their army is large. Our army is not going to get that big. That army is fairly large. Well, that's smaller. That's actually more plausible to deal with it, with them being 1 point... Oh no, there's the second army. Their second army is 1.7. Their first army is like 5k. Okay. So we're not going to get that big deal with them. Our other neighbors of these guys, well, we've beaten their army before, so we know their army, we're bigger than their army. I don't know where their army is, just that they... Oh, it's right up next to our capital. Yeah, we're bigger than that army. Okay, maybe in hindsight, we don't need a bigger army. For the simple reason that the army would be an increased expense, And other than one neighbor who we actually have a colleague deal with, and if we got rich enough, we could actually assign a trade deal with, or a full-on alliance with, the army is not going to be big enough to actually strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. So maybe it might be just army quality time. So we are going to do some modifications, given the fact that we worked out that it's army quality time. Existing army units, if you have the time, train to maximum. I cannot train them more than 70%, okay. No, I guess that's one reason to run city troops instead of regional troops. Regional troops will currently camp out at 70% max, with no improvements. Whereas the city troops, in theory, we could continue training all the way up to 100%, although we're still waiting for the old groups to recover. Drop the training requirement for the moment. We just want them trained as raw recruits. Yeah, so we've got 438 trained soldiers, with more being trained. I think 20 at a time is what we got it set to. I think we got 20 training facilities. That's another thing we could potentially increase is our capacity to train. 40. We're training 40 at a time. And we'll set the... Oh, just push the recruit limit to max. Yeah, we got set recruit limit here set to 40. Oh, and this is upgradable. I can speed this up just upgrading it. Let's upgrade it the first tick at least. Hold off in a second because I don't think we're making machines yet. Something to think about looking into doing. And yeah, I think this is where we'll put the part break in. Early next one, we're going to get administration here complete. And then we'll be continuing to expand paper making until we have enough paper to meet our administration goals. Right now, we're about 20% short. We'd like to be about 10% over. Food, I think with the new fishery in is looking much better. And we've got 37 innovation, although it probably wants... Not actually sure we want to spend that on. Might want to spend that on various things. Not sure. That would... Fine craftsmanship, which would be all of these, would be probably reasonable. Probably a little early for paper making. Maybe not early for cut stone masonry stuff. I'll think about that while we're taking the break here. If you're watching on YouTube, because this is where I'm going to put the part break in, we're going to have another part up tomorrow. We're going to record another 3 parts tonight, so there should be a part up for the next 3 days if everything goes according to plan. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you have been enjoying. We're going to take a short break here so I can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea, and then we'll be back to record, again, as I said, another part before taking the midstream break. And yeah, I hope everyone has been enjoying. The city is coming along. We're up at 4.83, and we're not really having any issues that look like it'll stop us from expanding the city at this point. We do actually have the Dondorians being reasonably happy, although that's partially because we started to distribute stone and wood. It's causing the furniture supply to go up. Service-wise, we actually have bathhouses unlocked, so I should probably start thinking about distributing the bathhouses as well. So we'll probably do the admin, fix the admin stuff, and then we'll look into bathhouses. So before I continue rambling on and think about what we're going to continue doing, this is where we're going to put the bark break in. Wish you all the best of luck and a good time until the next part and or the next stream, and bye for now.